And good evening, everyone. Welcome to another exciting Saturday Night Winestream and another exciting episode of Drink with Rick. I'm Rick. And tonight, well, we're going to try a Greek wine. Now, we tried one a little while back, and I thought it was kind of interesting. It was not really my favorite wine, but it was a different experience altogether. Well, we're going to try another one tonight. We're going to give it another shot and see, probably a few more shots if it's really good, and see if it's really as good as what I've heard. So we also have some foods to pair it with, and a couple of foods that, well, one of them is kind of a Greek food. We'll try it with a little bit of that. And of course, we have some national days to toast, a couple of big ones, I think. One that's made me big. We'll get to those. And we have some other things to do, like, I don't know, some more TV trivia. Maybe I'll give away another TV trivia book if we get enough participation in the chat tonight. We'll see. And we're just going to sit back and have a lot of fun. Now, if you're joining me for the first time or the 181st time, because this is the 181st episode of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Wine Stream, this is a stream of consciousness kind of show. I'm not working off a script here. I have my show notes. They're right here. I came prepared, but this is really more of a general outline of the show. Because the show isn't about me. The show is somewhat about the wine. I might get into that a little bit later, too. It's somewhat about the wine. The show is really about you and me getting together on a Saturday night, just kicking back, relaxing with our favorite libations, our favorite snacks, whatever they are. Just kicking back, relaxing, and having a good time on a Saturday night. You know, it's 10 o'clock. It's before the 11 o'clock news. Let's relax a little bit. Maybe we'll take it past the 11 o'clock news, and you can forget about the troubles of the day for a little while and just hang out. Just relax. That's what the show is about. Now, we don't talk about politics. We don't talk about religion on the show. We talk about things that bring people together, as wine does. As I mentioned so many times before on this show. And, of course, since this show is our show, yours and mine, you participate. You pretty much drive the topics on this show. So get in the chats. We have the chats going on a number of different venues, and I'll show you right now where you can check in live tonight and get involved in the chats. We are, of course, live on Facebook. The Facebook page is Drink with Rick. We're live on YouTube. The YouTube channel is at Drink with Rick. You just type in Drink with Rick, you'll find it. Also on Twitter. Twitter is at Drink with Rick. And Twitch is Drink with Rick, the number one. You just go to twitch.tv/Drink with Rick and the number one, all one word, together. And you should get there. And on Odyssey. Odyssey is at Drink with Rick, or Drink with Rick and the :7, and you will find it. You can also type in Hermes. That's the episode for tonight. You should be able to find that in the search as well. We have live chats going on everywhere. And let me check the chats just for a moment to see what's going on. And it's probably quiet from the beginning, because that's when we first start the show, when everybody's still finding their seats and getting ready. And it's still a little bit early tonight. It's getting darker earlier. And of course, daylight savings time is ending tonight at 2 a.m. Eastern time. So I think that's when we generally turn the clocks back. So looks like we're live everywhere. Now, the podcast to watch now or watch later. Let me find my podcast thing here. Where is it? Oh, yes, the podcast is... Oh, wait a minute. Let me do it right here. Oh, yes, I can do it right here. There we are. The podcast goes out at 10 p.m. Eastern on Monday nights. Monday nights at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And you can listen to it on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, TuneIn, Deezer Radio, Stitcher Radio, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, podcastindex.org. That's Adam Curry's site. And by email. If you go to the subscribe page at drinkwithrick.com, click on the little blue by email button, put in your email address in that box, send it off, and you will get the latest episode of Drink with Rick as soon as it drops, and no salesman will call. It's just for the podcast. And of course, you can unsubscribe at any time, but please don't. Please subscribe everywhere where you can subscribe, and it would be much, much appreciated. But there's no rule that says you have to do that. There isn't. You can do it if you like. If you don't like it, it's okay too. Send me feedback though. Send me feedback at rick@savoymedia.com. Rick@savoymedia.com, and send that feedback to me. Let me know the good, the bad, the ugly, and anything else in between. Let me know if there is any wine that you would like for me to review, as many have sent me requests before, and some of them I have reviewed. When I could find them, actually, I was able to review them. So we've got the live chat going on everywhere. Good. We're all set to go. So on with the show. All right, tonight, as I mentioned before, I'm going to introduce this wine. We're going to open, pour, taste, and review it. We're going to pair it with some food. We're going to toast some national days. Some TV trivia. We have some TV trivia, and well, whatever you have going on in the chats tonight that you can throw at me. That's what we're going to talk about tonight. Okay, so let's take a look at this wine. It looks like we're good everywhere. Yep. All right, let's take a look at the wine. This is what we're drinking tonight. This is called Hermes. Hermes. No, it's not. Kind of sounds like a social disease, doesn't it? No, it's called it's called Hermes. This is a dry red wine, and this is from Greece. It's a Greek wine. Let me show you what I have on the back of this Greek wine bottle. Hermes dry red wine, a dry, fresh red wine produced from selected grape varieties following the best winemaking methods. Hermes red accompanies appetizers, red meat, cheese, and should be served at 16 degrees Celsius. It says appetizers. It does says appetizers, but it's must be a typo in here. It is. Let's see, what's the alcohol content of this thing? Do they really say? 700. It's on the front. It says 12.5% alcohol by volume in this 750 milliliter bottle of wine, and that's pretty much all it says. By the way, Ed just popped in the chat. Ed says, Ed just got here, about to drive home from Maitland. Well, Ed, I'm glad you're here tonight. I really appreciate it. They had an event. Was it today? They had an event in Maitland. Were you there for that event? Now, I think it was going on today, if I'm not mistaken. Were you there at that Maitland event? Let me know if you were in downtown Maitland. They had a thing going on downtown. I think it was today, wasn't it? Yeah. I'm not in Maitland. I'm not in Florida anymore, so it's just the hearsay I'm getting from those who were there. But apparently there was. Let me know if you were at that event. I think there was an event they held there today. Anyway, because I have something to say about that, actually. Nothing bad. It's all good, actually. And my lovely wife Chi's in the chat on YouTube, and she says hello, and hello right back at you to Chi. By the way, I have something to show you that she did tonight. I'm going to show you the platter that my wife prepared for us to pair with the wine tonight, and I didn't forget about it. I wanted to have a big splashy introduction with this thing, but I have more to show later. Okay, so what we have is this is the platter that we're going to pair with the wine. We have some cheese. We have the double cream Gouda, Trader Joe's double cream Gouda. We have some, I believe it is cheddar, right? It's cheddar cheese. And then we have a couple of things here. We have a Greek, because I did mention a little bit of Greek food. We have some gyro meat, that would go in gear oil. And also, we have some buffalo meat, some bison, a bison burger. Yeah, and I have told you I do like bison burger. There's a specific reason why we're doing a bison burger tonight, and I will explain that one a little bit later. So Ed, I'm hoping that you've been having a great day there. And let's see who else we have in the chats. Chat keeps pausing due to scroll. Now, for those of you and some of the chats can't see the other chats, this is because we have 4 different chats, technically 5, going on 5 different platforms, and they're all separated, so one can't see the other, and I will try to translate one for the other so everybody can understand what's going on. All right, new messages. I didn't see any new messages, but okay. Anyway, this is what we've got going on tonight. Once again, Hermes, a Greek wine. Now, there is something interesting that I have to tell you about this wine before I get it open. Actually, let me just go ahead and start opening the wine, because we are starting a little bit late tonight. We're starting a little bit late tonight because I had a couple of technical things I had to take care of. Nothing bad, just some things I had to make sure happened correctly. And anyway, so here's what, you know what, I don't need my foil cutter tonight, and the reason I don't need my foil cutter is because it has this little pull tab thing on it, and I can pull on this tab. Hopefully it works. There we go. And it should just open right up. Look at that, amazing, huh? That saves my foil cutter for tonight. And it has one of these corks, one of these little artificial synthetic corks on it, which sometimes my decorker, my mechanical corkscrew, otherwise known as the Drink with Rick decorker, sometimes it has a little trouble with some of these, so we will try it tonight. It goes in really easy, but sometimes, did it work? Worked fine tonight. Look at that. Sometimes it has been known to have issues with the synthetic corks. Okay, and then of course we have the aerator, my trusty aerator. Get that down into the bottle there. All right, and to pour, or to I should say this is what we're using to pour. To hold the grape nectar, I have my, stuck to a napkin here, I have my genuine Galway Irish crystal glass, given to me by my employers at buy2wayradios.com, and this was imported from Ireland. We're going to pour just a little bit into the glass. By the way, it did say to chill to 16 degrees centigrade, which is the equivalent of about 60 degrees or 60.8 degrees Fahrenheit. I know because I looked it up. I'm terrible at math and conversions, so I had to look it up. All right. Don't judge me on that. I will bet a lot of people do the same thing I do, right, in that respect. Okay, so we've got this in the glass. Let's give it a little swirl, and I'm doing this on my, to keep from making too much noise, I have it on my official Drink with Rick coaster. The official coaster of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Winestream. Give it a good little swirl there. There we go. That's nice. Yeah, I'm getting better at this, I think. You know, there's a question out there. I think one of the somebody tweeted last week asking, okay, swirling the glass, is it really necessary? Does it really do anything, or is it just a thing people do? Different schools of thought on that, but I contend it does help the wine breathe a little bit, and I have been told that it does, but some people think, no, it's just something you do for fun. And I do it both. I do it both to open it up and for fun. There we go. And I'm just going to swirl around a little more because it just is kind of fun. It looks cool when you do it correctly. Otherwise, you sit here going shh and sloshing over, which I've done before, by the way, on numerous occasions. And I think even on this show, on numerous occasions. Anyway, so we've got this in the glass, and we're going to set it aside just for a moment and let it breathe. Just breathe a little bit. Open it up, because I did not decant the wine, but it has been told to me what I've said before about giving it a chance to breathe in the glass for a little while before you drink. There actually is some merit to that. All right. Anyway, so let me check the chats once again. And Ed, have a safe trip home. And everyone else watching, just feel free to jump in the chat whenever you want. We do have folks watching, and please jump in and say hi. Don't be afraid. And we have we got some spamming going on in the we just ignore that. Spamming going on in YouTube, which is not unusual for YouTube. YouTube has been rife with that a lot lately. Just ignore it. I'll get rid of that later on in the chats. Don't click on anything, please. Whatever you do, and this is a little public service announcement, whatever you do, do not click on anything in these chats unless it's something that I've cleared first. Now, occasionally what will happen is I will specifically ask people to put their links to their Twitch channels or YouTube channels or whatever in there, and then it's okay to do that for the most part. But what you might see in YouTube right now is unsolicited, and please do not click on any of that. Okay, it's just safer that way, and there seems to be a lot more of that sort of thing going around these days. All right, so we've got the wine breathing here. Hopefully, I'm going to set it aside just right here. Oh, okay, that's fine. All right, and while it's doing that, let's learn a little bit more about this wine. Now, the thing about this Hermes wine, now what we opened before, and I'm going to show it to you. This is what we opened, a month or two ago, a couple of months ago. Let me see if we can find this again. It is, it was this one. We opened up the Katrotsos, and this was an interesting wine from Greece. This is an interesting Greek wine. And I don't know, it was okay. I mean, it wasn't fantastic, it wasn't bad, but it was okay. It's just not my favorite wine. But I was not inclined to buy another bottle of it. But what I did at the time that I purchased that bottle of Katrotsos, I also purchased this bottle of Hermes. I purchased them both at the same time, purchased them from Total Wine because they had a Greek section there, and I was looking for Greek wine, so I bought 2 bottles. And so this is the one that we're opening up tonight. Now, I did a little searching on this wine and did not find a whole lot of information on it, real information. Now, it's If you look on the back of the bottle, oftentimes they'll have like where you can, find more information on the wine. Down the bottle in red, it says, or imported by Stellar Importing Company, LLC in Whitestone, New York. But that's all they've got, no website or anything like that. And that's the importer. That's not the vintner. It's the importer. So I had to hunt around and look for information on this wine. Now, I did type it in, and I couldn't believe how many things are called Hermes. It's a good thing I didn't mistype it. I would be learning a lot about STDs or something, It's just so Hermes, Hermes. I guess that's how it's pronounced. Anyway, I didn't find a whole lot on it that was original material that told me anything about what is actually in this wine. I did find a lot of information online about the wine itself in terms of who was selling it and how it was sold, things like that. Wine Searcher has a number of places that sold the wine. It is an import. Seller Tracker gave it a count of 85 out of 4 user reviews. I'll be honest, I didn't really read these reviews too much. Maybe I should kind of look over this for a second, but it's not very comprehensive. No pro reviews, just some tasting notes, I guess. So I don't know. I really wasn't finding much on this wine at all. And I went to Vivino. Vivino has a lot of reviews on it. They have 100 ratings and a bunch of reviews, and I didn't slog through all those either. I saw a couple of them, but I didn't see a whole lot. It gave it a 3.4 out of 5-star rating, and gave it a median price, an average price of $8.90 for this Hermes Dry Red. Now, the one that popped up was a 2018 vintage, and the photo, the image, or the label, I should say, the photo on the bottle, or the photo on the website has an image of the bottle, and it looks like the same exact label on the bottle. So that doesn't necessarily mean anything, though, because they can use the same label for several different vintages, and so I couldn't really trust the fact that this is actually 2018. I don't know what year this is, because if you go back and look on the front and the back, there is no year. I looked all over the place on the year. The front, back, no year. Nothing there to tell me what vintage this is, what year this is. And so I'm guessing maybe it is a 2018. I don't know, but they've had vintages going over the history of this on Vivino, 2012, 2016, 2017, 2020, 2018. This could be a 2020 for all I know. I don't know. The 2018 vintage seems to rate better than any other year for the wine, according to Vivino. I'm just reading that directly off their site. But I don't see anything about the vintage itself. I can't verify what year this wine was made. So that's kind of up in the air. It's kind of a big mystery. I will say that I picked this up Total Wine. They list it on their website for $10.99. And it doesn't say much there anyway, except it's just elegant and dry. And it says they recommend that you chill it for half an hour in the fridge before you serve it. And it is made with the Agirgitico grape, the St. George grape, also known as Agirgitico. And it's and we've had that before. We've talked about that grape before on the show, I believe. In fact, I think the other wine that we served was made with an Agirgitico grape. And so that's really all I've got on it. It's that's pretty much all there is. Now, the price-wise, getting back to the price, they were saying $10.99 over at, I think that's what it was, $10.99 over at, was it $10.99? Yes, it was, over at Total Wine. Vino said it was averaging it out at $8.90. This is what I have here from winesearcher.com. Total Wine listed for $10.99, yes, in pretty much most of the North Carolina areas. And that's pretty much all I got for right here. So, but I will tell you what I paid for it, because I have the receipt right here. What I paid for this bottle of, I think I got it right here. Where is it? There's the wrong receipt. Let me get the other receipt. Must be it. Here it is. This is the correct receipt from Total Wine. Hermes Greek Red, 750 milliliters, $10.99. So I did pay $10.99 for this bottle of wine. Is it worth $10.99? I don't know, because we're going to try it in just a few moments. Let me check the chats one more time and see what's going on. Ed, I hope you're having a safe trip home. You know, you have a prize on the way to you, by the way. I don't know if you received it yet. Probably not. It's still on the way. But unless they can deliver it in like 2 days, probably is going to take you probably get it like Tuesday or something. So checking everywhere else. All right, we're good there. So let's go ahead and give this wine a little bit of a taste. Give it a sniff first. Some cranberry. I kind of like cranberry, though it's a little on the sour side. I can drink a little bit of cranberry, but not too much at once. But I do like cranberry. A little cranberry and a little bit of strawberry, I think. Let me give it a taste. Wow, this is a very, very light tasting wine. It is a very light wine. It's kind of medium bodied. It looks medium bodied to me. Light on the acidity, I'll say that. It kind of looks a little lighter now that I've poured more into the glass. Poured in kind of a medium, light to medium bodied. That's more medium bodied, I think. It does have some legs on it. A little bit. It is light on the alcohol. It has a short finish. Very light finish. And yeah, a little strawberry. Yeah, some cranberry. And maybe a hint of pomegranate in it. A little pomegranate. It's a little on the sour side, I think. Not sour in a bad way. It's just kind of red fruit is kind of the, like, I don't know, like a sour cherry or something, maybe just a little bit, but it's not really cherry. Cranberry, it must be cranberry, because cranberries can be a little bit on the sour side, a little tart. I wouldn't say tart. I mean, I would say this is sour. It's really more a tart, I should say, tart. Yeah. I haven't had any wine yet to speak of, and I'm already wixing my merds up tonight. The party's just started. It's a very smooth wine. Not a lot of tannin in this wine. Very kind of light on the tannin, but it's also kind of light on everything. It's very, very light tasting wine. Kind of smooth, almost too light in a way. It reminds me of a couple of Pinot Noirs I've had that were like super light. And at first, in the first taste, I thought I was drinking, like a flavored water or something, but it wasn't like that at all. Those were a couple of Pinots that a long time ago. But this is, I wouldn't say this is like drinking flavored water, but it's very, very light all the way around. It's not. I've seen a couple of reviews where they said it was kind of oaky. I'm not getting that. I'm not really getting oak in it or anything. Somebody mentioned cinnamon. I'm not getting that either. But it's very light on everything. A little light on acidity, light on tannins, light on everything. It's actually. It's not an unpleasant wine to drink. I mean, it's kind of pleasant, and I think one of the reasons why it feels so light in the mouth and it tastes so light going down, and it is a fairly light finish, I think it's because of the light alcohol. This is 12.5% alcohol, according to what this said. Yeah, 12.5%. So it's not that strong of a wine. Now, it is a little bit. There's more alcohol in it than, say, maybe in some of those wines that my wife likes to buy. It only has 8.5 or 9% alcohol in it, but it's not really heavy on the alcohol, and it's not real bold or anything like that. It's fairly light. might go pretty well with a couple of these items that we have to taste it with or to pair it with tonight. We shall find out. As a matter of fact, let's find out in just a moment. Let me check the chats one more time. Ed, I hope you're having a safe trip home, if you're listening on the way home. And let's see, everyone on Twitch. Everyone have a good time on Twitch tonight and on Odyssey as well. And I have some tweets here. We get to have some tweets. All right. So we have... Okay. Those are not for me. Kane is in the chat on YouTube. Kane says, hi, Rick. And Kane Cordova, hi right back at you, my friend. And how are you doing? I hope you're doing really well tonight. And let me know what you're drinking, by the way. And we've got some fun. Since you just checked in just now, I'll let you know, going through the itinerary today. It's a light itinerary. We have a light wine that we're drinking. It's a light itinerary tonight. Going to pair it with some foods. Going to toast some national days, and a couple of them are really interesting. And some TV trivia, things like that. Now, for those who like to watch the films, I have more films coming. They're not completed and ready to show just yet, but I have some more films on the way, and we'll be showing those as we get closer to the holiday season. By the way, just a reminder right now that Thanksgiving evening, we will be doing a special, a 1 hour Drink with Rick special, not on the Saturday night one. We'll be doing the regular one as well. That one's planned also, but we'll be doing one on Thursday night. I believe that's the 24th, if I'm not mistaken, of November, Thanksgiving evening, and this will be at 9 p.m. Eastern Time, so 1 hour early, 9 p.m. This is our annual, we do this every year, an annual 1 hour Drink with Rick, what is it called? A Drink with Rick Thanksgiving. Thank you, that's what we call it. And we do it every year, so we'll be doing one this year as well. Giving thanks and eating, drinking, and having a good time. And I'm glad you're here, Kane. It's good to see you. And let's see, where were we? Oh, yes, we were going to pair it with some food. So let's go ahead and pair this wine with some foods. Let me show you what my lovely wife, she has prepared tonight to pair it with. Now, this, yes, there's this big thing right here in the corner. I'm going to get to that later because that's going to be important with the national days. Let's try it first. And what I have here, I have a couple of things here. Let's try with this. I'll tell you what this is. This is Bison. This is a Bison burger. I love Bison and Bison burger. There's a reason that we're having Bison tonight, which I will go into in just a little bit. But for now, let's just try and see how it pairs with the wine. Now, this is a Greek wine. Generally, I would expect it to go pretty well with maybe a spanakopita, a spinach pie. It's one of my favorite dishes. And an gyro, Greek food. Okay, now that's not bad. That's not bad. Now, the thing about Bison, buffalo meat, it's a buffalo burger. People have asked me who've never had a buffalo burger, it's like, what does that taste like? Well, it's like beef, but sweeter. It's just it's a little sweeter, a little richer. It's actually a little bit richer than beef. And if you've never had anything like that before, I know some people didn't like it when they tried it, and some people did. I think Tom Antio had a little bit before, and he tried it out, and he liked it. He thought it was pretty good. But there are some folks that say, well, it's a little on the rich side, too rich for me. But some folks like it. I happen to like it. It's really good. It makes a great burger, especially when you put on like some kind of a cheddar or a Monterey Jack cheese or a pepper jack or something like that. That works pretty well with those. Pretty nice. Anyway, so I think that worked pretty well with the Bison burger. The Bison burger was grilled by my lovely wife, Chi. I think she just pretty much pan-fried it, I think is what she did. Okay, you can correct me on that if I'm wrong, Chi, but I think that was pan-fried, right? Or pan-grilled. Was pretty good, and not a bad pairing at all. Let me clear the palate. All right, had to have some water there. Let's go back to camera 3. And we're going to try it with the gyro meat. Some people call it gyro, some people call it gyro, I call it tasty. Let me see if I can get it on there, on the fork. All right, and this is what we've got. Nice spicy meat. Now, if you're not familiar with that kind of meat, it is a mixture of beef and lamb. And the mixture can vary. Sometimes it's almost all lamb. Sometimes it's lamb with a little bit of beef. Sometimes it's half and half. Sometimes it's more beef than lamb. It's always pretty good. Kind of spicy. Oh, I like that. Oh, that's a nice pairing. I like that. Very good. Very good. I think this would go great with an gyro, especially if you have the sauce in there with it that they put in there. And let's see, a couple of veggies, maybe some tomato and onion in there, mixed in there with in the pita bread. I think with a gyro, that this would go pretty well with a gyro. I like that. Let me clear the palate one more time. Tzatziki sauce is what I was thinking of. The sauce that they put on the gyros good deal of time. That's what's known as tzatziki sauce. I think that would be a great combination with this wine. I like this. Not bad. Not bad at all. All right, I clear the palate one more time. Let's go back to camera 3 and let's go check it out with the cheddar cheese. Now, I'm not sure where this cheddar came from. This is not the usual Cracker Barrel cheddar that we have it with usually. She told me it was something else. This looks like a mild... It tastes like a mild, very mild cheddar. Yeah. Let's try it. Not bad. And it's interesting, it adds a twinge of smokiness to the cheddar, just a twinge of it. That was interesting. Twinge of smokiness. I'm not sure why, because neither this cheddar nor this wine is particularly smoky. Very interesting. We're going to clear the palate one more time. And now let's go back to camera 3 and try it with the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda. Actually, I think what I just had was the Trader Joe's Double Cream Gouda, wasn't it? Ah, that's what I had. That's why I thought it was a little smoky. That's the Double Cream Gouda I was having. It's the Double Cream Gouda. I thought it was cheddar, and it kind of tasted like Gouda. I thought, wow, this is kind of smoky. What is a smoky? It is smoky. The Gouda fooled me there. This is the cheddar. White cheddar. Yeah. That's cheddar. This cheddar. Okay, definitely cheddar. It works with the cheddar. Let me try it with the Gouda again. Oh, it's interesting. Yeah, that did fool me. I thought I was grabbing the cheddar. I'm kind of see, on camera 3, if you notice it, I'm kind of looking past all this other stuff. I've got wine bottles here and stuff. I'm kind of sort of half, I'm reaching over. I'm sort of half seeing what I'm doing here. And I thought I was grabbing the cheddar, and I was actually grabbing the Gouda. And I thought, wow, why is that tasting so smoky? And then I realized, that's not the cheddar, that's the Gouda. Yeah, that's the Gouda. Yeah, that's definitely the Gouda. Let's try it again. Yeah. The wine's not smoky at all, but it does bring out the smokiness, the little hinge of smokiness that's in the Gouda cheese. And the now Gouda is not particularly a smoky cheese, but there is a little hint of that kind of thing in some Gouda cheeses. The double cream Gouda is really, really good, but I find it a little, just a slight twinge of smokiness sometimes. That's what kind of threw me off, because I was like, oh, it's not supposed to taste smoky. That's not the cheddar, it's the Gouda. Fooled me. That's what happens when I can't see. I don't have a 100% view of the... I've got to rearrange some stuff here. I don't have a 100% view of this plate from over here, because it's on another camera and the camera's shooting down on it and it's kind of off to the side. I got all these glasses and cups and the water bottle and everything in the way, so I'm kind of reaching over all that stuff to grab it. All right. Grab the wrong cheese. Anyway, so now we got that straightened out. Let's go back to the chats for just a moment. Ed says, home safe to driveway. I don't know of a Maitland celebration. Friday was Fountain Pen Day, however. Fountain Pen Day in Maitland. Okay. Fountain Pen Day. Okay. That sounds like that was a lot of fun. Ed says, what did Mr. Buffalo Sr. say to Buffalo Jr. when he was leaving to go off to college? Bison. Bison. I got it. That's a good one. You get some applause for that, too. Good job, Ed. And what else we got here going on in the chats? On Twitch, Tom Antio says, hi, Dad. He's on Twitch. And hi right back at you, Tom. It's good to see you tonight. And Tom says, corny, LOL. Yeah, it was a corny joke, but I had to give them a laugh because we all need a good laugh here on a Saturday night, don't we? Especially with this show. The more laughs, the better. All right, and Kane says, cheese says New York sharp cheddar from Lidl. Okay, so that cheddar cheese was a New York sharp cheddar from Lidl. Yeah, because I grabbed the wrong cheese, and because I really wasn't looking at 100% over there, and I thought I had the cheddar and actually had the Gouda, and I was thinking, well, this doesn't taste very, it's very mild, and I'm like, oh yeah, no, we've been there already. Anyway, so yeah, the New York sharp cheddar, that was, yeah, when I put that in my mouth, I said, yeah, this is cheddar cheese. So New York sharp cheddar from Lidl. Is it pronounced Little or Lidl? I don't know. My wife and I had a slight discussion about that today, and neither of us really particularly cared. But it was just, whatever it is. Kane says, daylight savings time tonight. Yes, it is. It's daylight savings time tonight. We will get that as we go to the national days. That's actually a pretty good segue, Kane. Thanks. Appreciate the segue. This is to Kane for the segue. Because now it's time to toast the national days. And boy, do we have some national days to toast. It's not the number of them that is important. It's the quality of them. What national days they are. All right, so let's go ahead and cue up the wine bottles there. The wave. And I'm going to pour a little more wine for this. We're going to need it. And let's go ahead and toast the national days. All right, the first national day that we're toasting, and by the way, these are all coming from nationaldaycalendar.com. Nationaldaycalendar.com is Marlo Anderson's website. He's the CEO of nationaldaycalendar.com, and this is what's being provided by him. November 5th for another hour. And no, excuse me, it's another 57 minutes. Yeah, it's 11:03 now. November 5th is National Love Your Red Hair Day. Yes, for those who are redheads. I got a little background on this, and that came from nationaldaycalendar.com. I don't know if I copied it over, did I? Yes, I did. I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com. National Love Your Red Hair Day celebrates the beauty of those gorgeous red tresses annually on November 5th. There's no reason to be shy. Redheads get the spotlight to show off the unique qualities of your red hair. Now, I will definitely drink to that. And there are a lot of famous redheads. They list some famous redheads here. Lucille Ball, of course, an obvious choice. Queen Elizabeth I. Queen Elizabeth I was a redhead. They also list Ron Howard, Richie from Happy Days, and Opie, of course, from the Andy Griffith Show. Of course, the Andy Griffith Show in the early days was all black and white, so you really couldn't tell he had red hair. Ron Howard. Actually, I think Ron Howard these days is more kind of like me. Last time I saw a photo of him. Vincent van Gogh had red hair. He had red hair. Yeah, I guess he did. Carol Burnett, of course, another classic comedian. Carol Burnett, red hair. Yes. Bonnie Raitt, Winona Judd, and, of course, the famous or infamous Carrot Top. Yes, red hair. Of course, that's obvious. All right, here's to National Love Your Red Hair Day. I will drink to that. Red wine matches red hair. I guess so. It's also National Play Outside Day. The first Saturday of every month is National Play Outside Day. Did you play outside today? I did not. But I'll drink to that. Okay, now we get into the really intense stuff. Today is National Bison Day. The first Saturday in November is National Bison Day. That is why we had the bison here. National Bison Day. I'm going to read something a little bit from nationaldaycalendar.com about National Bison Day because there's some interesting trivia here. National Bison Day on the first Saturday in November honors one of the most majestic beasts to roam the land. The official national mammal of the United States. Did you know that? Did you know the bison was the national mammal of the United States? Apparently it is. The official national mammal of the United States, the iconic North American bison, has played a cultural, economic, and environmental role in the history of the country. Central to the livelihood of Native Americans, they are also a healthy food source and vital to religious ceremonies. This is true. Native Americans did hold the bison in reverence, and they also hunted the bison, the buffalo, for food. The bison is the largest land animal in North America. I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com again. The bison is the largest land animal in North America, with males weighing up to 2,000 pounds and standing up to 6 feet tall. While cows may be smaller than 1,000 pounds and up to 5 feet tall, they're still mighty powerful. And that's also a lot of meat. However, bison only live up to 20 years. Provided they don't get served on my plate first. The dark brown to black, thick, shaggy coat of the full-grown bison keeps them warm during long, cold winters on the plains. When they're born, the calves sport a reddish coat. While giant herds once covered the plains, hunters nearly decimated them by the 1800s. This is pretty well known. Now, bison populate all 50 states, living in national parks, refuges, and on tribal and private lands. And there you go. I like bison. I like bison meat. As a matter of fact, I'm going to have a little bit more now that I can see a little bit better now. Here we go, because I moved everything over a bit. Got a little more bison meat. Good stuff, too. Here is to National Bison Day. I'll drink to that with a mouthful of bison to boot. Oh yeah, good stuff. Bison. All right, and what else is it? We have one more national day here for November 5th. It is, and I'll have a drum roll, National Donut Day. Yes, today is National Donut Day. So even though it's getting late in the day, you still have time. You have 58 minutes. I'm sorry, 58 minutes. I give you 10 extra minutes there. 58 minutes to go grab a donut and celebrate National Donut. Do it after the show, okay? If you don't have any donuts in the house, just do it after the show. No, actually, if you're drinking along with me, don't do it after the show. Just do it tomorrow. That's fine. National Donut Day. Now, in honor of National Donut Day, I have something special that my lovely wife, Chi, has prepared for this occasion. And I showed it to you from above. There's this from above, but that does not do it any justice at all. My lovely wife, Chi, prepared, let me get my photos out here. Oh yes, there they are. This, that's what it looks like head on. I was stunned. I was no less than stunned when I went downstairs just before the show and to grab the bottle of wine, which I had in the fridge, chilling down to 60 degrees, 60.8 degrees Fahrenheit, or 16 degrees Celsius. I went down there and I saw this, and I said, this is amazing. I said, Chi, you've outdone yourself. I was really impressed with it. Special delivery, drink with Rick. He's got this, someone is transporting, you got a little truck there. The truck is made out of, and this is for the sake of those listening to the podcast later. Let me set this up for you. There is a little, she made this out of food, except for the flag. She has a little Drink with Rick flag stuck at the top of it, but it's a little truck. It's a transport truck made out of cucumber. This truck is made out of cucumber, and it has carrot wheels. So you have the carrots cut into little wheels, and she made little carrot wheels out of them that she poked through the truck with toothpicks. Says special delivery on it. Drink with Rick. Special delivery just for National Donut Day. And on the back of this truck, on the bed of this truck made of cucumber, there is a donut standing on its end. A donut. And this is not just any kind of donut. This is actually a gluten-free donut. So it's safe for me to eat. I am on my diet, but it is a gluten-free donut. Now, there is something else. You see something? You see what's inside there? I don't know if you can see what's inside that photo. I'm going to give you a closer look at it. Look in the cab. The cab, the little guy driving in the cab. She went to great detail with this. The little guy driving in the cab is made... oh my goodness. Yeah, it's made out of something you would not expect it to be made out of. Chi, why don't you tell everybody what it's made out of? Kane says, cool donut wagon. Yeah, I like that. Kane says, or truck. Yeah, it's kind of a wagon. It's kind of a truck. It's kind of a transport vehicle of some sort. But, gee, you're still there. Why don't you tell everybody what that little guy's made of? It's, I never would have expected that. If anybody else can guess what it's made of. No, it's not a gummy. It's not a gummy. It's yeah. Let me check the chats one more time, real quick. Anybody guess what that is? I'll give you a few more seconds if you want to know what it is. Anyway, all right. I guess I better not draw this out too much. All right, what that's made out of? It's made out of avocado. I kid you not. This is that little guy in there is made out of an avocado. I just about freaked when I saw it. She showed it to me. What she did was she sliced off an end of an avocado with the skin and shaped this little guy in there with it. So this thing in there, I kid you not, it's made out of avocado. So that's pretty wild. nobody would have ever guessed what that was. Nobody, I had no idea. And she said, that's a piece of avocado. I was like, you're kidding me. Avocado, that's different. Definitely different. Anyway, for my lovely wife, Chi, I would like to toast her first because that was an amazing piece of work, and she is an amazing person. I don't know what I'd do without her. I don't even want to think about it. Here's to my lovely wife, Chi, and her cucumber truck with the avocado driver. And Chi, you deserve a lot of applause for that. It's much, much appreciated. And a little avocado. I wonder if that's supposed to be me driving. I wonder what that says about me. I don't know. Ed says Ron Howard played the kid Winthrop in the movie The Music Man, though that wasn't TV. That's true. that was a movie, but yeah, Ron Howard. Ron Howard had quite a career growing up, and so did his brother Clint. The Howards were very prolific actor. You know, they did a lot of acting when they were younger. Clint Howard had quite a little bit of a career too. Quite a career with him, and. So it goes. Clint Howard was the in the Andy Griffith Show. He would show up sometimes. I forgot the character's name, but he would show up as a little kid with the cowboy hat and a little toy gun on there sometimes. And yeah, Clint had quite a career too. Still does actually. They're both pretty active, I believe. Anyway, so. Clint's still around, right? Yeah, I think. Is he Clint Howard still around? I think he is. I'm not 100% sure, but I think he is. Anyway, so Tom Antio has a piece of corn there. Yeah, did you see that? What did you think of your mom's creation? That just amazes me. The little avocado truck driver. That just something else. So, anyway, we're getting back to, oh yes, it's donut day, isn't it? So let's go back to camera 3. I'm going to take a piece of that donut. We're going to have a little piece of that, if I can reach over here and get it. There, a piece of donut. Just take a little bit off of there. Yeah. That's a good donut, actually. It's a glazed donut. This is a, who makes this, Chi? I can't remember the name of the company that makes it. Vans, right? Vans? It's a gluten-free donut. I didn't do that correctly, did I? All right, we need everything. We need the wave. We need the donut. I'm going to grab the whole one this time. Got to have the wine. Let's get it ready to toast National Donut Day. Here's National Donut Day. I will drink to that. Yeah, National Donut Day. Oh, that's good stuff. I got to finish that one later. Yeah, we'll drink to National Donut Day because donuts are what made me the man I am today. I will drink to that. Yes, I know I'm on this diet. I'm on the diet. This is a gluten-free donut. That's why it's not a regular donut. It's gluten-free. I just had a little bit of a bite. I've been working on the diet, continue to do that, and I will continue to post updates on it as the weeks and the months go by. All right, what do we have left? We still have a few national days for tomorrow, which is coming up in about 42 minutes. November 6th. It'll be November 6th in 42 minutes on the Eastern Daylight Time. We're still under Daylight Savings Time. It's National Nachos Day. National Nachos Day. You hear that, Tom Antio? It's National Nachos Day. I know he likes nachos. He likes tacos. I have something from National Day Calendar on National Nachos Day. I was going to say tacos. National Nachos Day. This is some trivia that you didn't know. Well, maybe you did. I didn't know it. National Nachos Day on November 6th, and I'm reading this directly from nationaldaycalendar.com. On November 6th, National Nachos Day recognizes the snack-flavored sporting events across the country in their purest form. Nachos are tortilla chips covered in nacho cheese, queso, or other melted cheese and served with salsa. By the way, queso is just the Spanish word for cheese. First created sometime around 1943, the popular and loved nachos are of Mexican origin. Really? I think everybody knew that. Okay, but here's the history. According to nationaldaycalendar.com, here is the history of nachos. History tells us that Ignacio Nacho Anaya created the original nachos in 1943. Yeah, nachos is not just a Spanish word. It was someone's nickname. According to his son, Nacho was the maitre d' at the El Moderno restaurant in Piedras Negras. One evening after the kitchen staff had left, a group of U.S. Army wives stationed at Fort Duncan and Eagle Pass came into the restaurant. After a long day of shopping, they were hungry and asked for a snack. Anaya prepared some tostadas cut into triangles. After topping them with shredded cheese and sliced jalapenos, he heated the dish in the oven. They were such a hit with the Army wives that they named the snack Nacho Special before he could make another batch. Word of the new creation quickly traveled. People from all over tried them, loved them, and over time, the name changed. Eventually, Nacho Special became Special Nachos. And the original recipe is printed in the 1954 St. Anne's Cookbook. How about that? Popularity of the new dish spread swiftly throughout Texas and the Southwest, and since then, it has gained millions of fans across America. And that is the story from history of nachos, named after a guy named Nacho. Who knew? So here's to National Nachos Day. I will drink to that. All right. We learned something new tonight on the Winestream, didn't we? November 6th is also National Saxophone Day, and you will not believe this one. Unless you already know it, and then you'll believe it. All right, I didn't know this. National Saxophone Day, I'm reading this from nationaldaycalendar.com again. National Saxophone Day commemorates the birth of the woodwind's inventor, Adolphe Sax, on November 6th. The saxophone is one of the main instruments in jazz music. Well, I knew that. But apparently, Adolphe Sax invented many musical instruments, including the saxophone. And it was invented in the early, apparently he was constructing them in several sizes in the early 1840s. He did receive a 15-year patent for it. The patent encompassed 14 different versions of the design, split into two categories. And after the patent expired in 1866, several saxophonists and instrument manufacturers implemented their own improvements to the original design and keywork. So, and there are a lot of great saxophone masters. They've got a list of saxophone masters here, including Stan Getz, Sidney Bechet, Mindy Aber, Sonny Rollins, Yolanda Brown, Lester Young, John Coltrane, of course. I enjoy John Coltrane's jazz work. I like Coltrane. Elisa Hall, Charlie Parker Bird, Kenny G, of course, Steve Cole, Jimmy Dorsey, another classic musician, Jimmy Dorsey. Let's see, Candy Dulfer, Grover Washington Jr. Grover Washington Jr. was another one. Herbie Flowers, Claire Daly, Ronnie Moss. A lot of classic saxophone artists and players. Beast on Gaming's in the chat in Twitch, and Beast on Gaming says, "What up, Rick?" and "What up, right back at you." Beast on Gaming's been a while. It's been a while. Glad you're here. It's been too long, Ashley. How have you been? You've missed a lot of the action here, a lot of our films we've been showing and things like that. We'll show them again sometime soon. But I'm glad you're here now, and we just finished toasting. Oh, we did not toast it yet. Here's to National Saxophone Day, by the way. I will drink to that. If you're not familiar with John Coltrane, you got to listen to some of his work. It's really good jazz. Let's see what else we got going on here. Let's check all the other chats as well. And Bison Gaming says, been a bit. School got easier, so I usually hit the hay earlier. I can understand that, and I can appreciate that. Bison Gaming says, so far I haven't been tuning in. Oh, so far I haven't been tuning in. Well, tuning in now. The important thing is you're here now. Ed says, Ron has a daughter who is quite a knockout in movies, too. I have heard that. I've heard that. Yeah, it's interesting, the legacy of a lot of these people in the movies that they go through generations. The movie business has been around since very early, late 1880s is when the camera was invented, and they were doing some early films, and then from the early 1900s when the movie studios were just cranking up and getting going, and then through the silent era, and then through the sound era, beginning in around the end of the 1920s, early 30s, and then so on and so forth. So you have several generations there in Hollywood. You have several generations of movie people that you've got probably 3-4 generations there at least, maybe 5 at some point that have from families that have pretty much grown up in the movie business, 3-4 generations at least. So it's not surprising that Ron Howard's kids would be involved. Look at there are a lot of movie families. There are a lot of big ones that people can think of right offhand. That I won't go through the whole long list, but there a lot of them have been in the business for a long time, and of course, since the parents were in the business, and it was much easier for the kids to get into the business because the parents were already in it, and so on and so forth. Okay, we have some trivia, don't we? I think that does it for the National Days, doesn't it? Let's go ahead with the. Let's get back to there, something nice there. It's that time of the year, fall, autumn, and we're getting close to winter months. And for those of you just tuning in right now, of course, we have the Drink with Rick Thanksgiving special coming on Thanksgiving Day, on the evening of Thanksgiving. It'll be 9 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope, of course, the clocks will be turning back by then. So I hope you all will join me for that. It's a 1-hour special. And then we'll have the regular Winestream that following Saturday night, of course. By the way, there is one more day I forgot to toast for tonight. This is actually kind of tonight and tomorrow because it's just in a few short hours. And King, thanks for reminding me. I believe that was you who reminded me about that. Daylight savings time ends. Daylight savings time ends in just a few short hours. Generally 2 a.m., at least 2 a.m. our time, Eastern time, is generally when we roll the clocks back 1 hour. Spring forward, fall back, spring forward, fall back. We're falling back now. We get our 1 hour of sleep back. Here is to the end of daylight savings time. I am not a fan of daylight savings time. Let's, you know what? I think this deserves some applause as well. It does. The end of National Daylight Savings Time. Yes. I'm not a fan of it. Do you like daylight savings time? I'm not a big fan of it myself, because going through that whole thing about, especially every spring when you have to spring forward, you lose an hour of sleep, And then you have to worry about, oh, wow, am I coming to work late, an hour late today, or on time? I really haven't had that problem, but I know of others who have forgotten to set their clocks forward, and then they wake up and they're an hour late for work. It happens. But losing that hour of sleep, all summer, it just kind of makes me drag a little bit, although I stay up late anyway. But it's really nice. And maybe it's just from a psychological standpoint, but it's really nice to be able to tonight just say, hey, I get my hour back. And then you kind of sleep in. And it's Sunday anyway, so you're going to kind of sleep in the morning, unless you have to go to work on a Sunday or something. It's you sleep in the morning, you get an hour extra of sleep. Or if you're going to church or something, you think, hey, I get an extra hour before I get up for church or something. It's just nice to be able to get that hour back. The thing is, I kind of take advantage of that. Do you find yourself doing that? Yes, I have a little confession to make there. That, when I know that daylight savings time is ending, I will say, hey, I've got an extra hour before bed. What can I do with that extra hour? I can stay up and watch another episode of whatever. Right now we're watching Manifest. The new season of Manifest just dropped on Netflix, so we're watching that. You know what I mean? I have a tendency to kind of waste that hour, and I shouldn't. I should take advantage of that hour tonight. What do you have planned to do with your extra hour tonight? Anybody have any special plans? Bison Gaming says, God, daylight savings time is so pointless. Surprised we're still doing that stuff. Yes, daylight savings time is pointless in my opinion as well. Yes, I am equally surprised that we're still doing that stuff. Yes, I agree with you. It is, in my opinion. I could see when they implement in the very beginning their reasonings for doing it. I just don't think that reason exists anymore. And Kane says, Cat's Donut. Yeah, the cheese says Cat's Donut. So it's a Cat's Donut. Oh, it's not a Van's Donut. This is a Cat's Donut. I thought it was a Van's Donut, but it's a Cat's Donut. Okay, I'll drink to that anyway. I'll eat and drink to that. Good stuff. National Donut Day. Gotta love it. D-Sun Gaming says, I don't have much planned. My body has very strict sleep guidelines, so I can never sleep in even if I want to. Wow. I kind of hear you on that, because there's some days when I think I can sleep in, and then I wind up waking up. This is how it works for me. So basically, you're saying that your body clock is set so that your body clock gets you up early, even if you want to sleep in. Bison Gaming says, can't nap either. Not sure what's up with that. Oh, wow. Well, okay, I feel for you there, because I got to have my naps. My Saturday afternoon naps, I really have to have those at my age. But well, I believe you're younger than me, though, right? So I can imagine that hasn't really kicked in. There comes a certain point of time in your life where, when I was a kid, I used to hate naps, as most of us did, right? We hate afternoon naps. Your parents would make you take an afternoon nap, and I hated that. Now that I'm older, I kind of appreciate that, and I have to have my afternoon nap, and if I don't get one, I'm cranky. I wouldn't say I'm cranky. It's just I don't get my afternoon nap on a Saturday. Can't do it during the week, of course, because I'm at work. What I was going to say, though, was that when I'm working on, what bugs me is I'm working throughout the week, and I get up at like 7:30 in the morning, and I get so accustomed to doing that during the week that on the weekend, when I know I can sleep in, sometimes I wake up early in the morning anyway, just because it just kind of set me to do that. Now, I will go back to sleep oftentimes, but oftentimes I just automatically wake up because it's just kind of, I've become conditioned for that during the week. Bison Gaming says, but I'm still young and spry. Maybe I'll need naps later on. You will. Trust me. You appreciate it more as you get older. Trust me on that. You will. There will come a time when you will say, I need a nap, and you won't be able to get one. But, yeah, it comes with age. It does. Ed, you into afternoon naps? I know I am. Kane, what about you? I don't know what your age is, Kane, but I'm wondering if everybody's kind of feeling like after this next time change, if everybody's clock's going to be thrown off a bit, body clock's going to be thrown off a bit, and everybody's going to need an afternoon nap. This year in particular, this year has been kind of weird. In my opinion, anyway, it's just been kind of a weird year. And the last 2 years with COVID and all, that didn't help things. Anyway, so that is what we got going on the chats here. Okay, I said we were going to do some TV trivia, so we're going to do that real quick. So this is what we got. I don't have things cleared out for the camera here, but let me swear it. Oh, it's right here. Excuse me, Bill. You coming up later. Roadkill Bill's coming up later. This is what I've got. I have a couple of trivia books. Now, last week I was going over the classic TV shows and crossword puzzles book. Last couple of weeks, and Ed, I've got one going to you. You won one, so it's on the way. Actually, I shipped it out the other day, and I've got another one here. This is TV Trivia Word Search Puzzles by Eileen J. Ratner. And this is also an interesting, because I love, as you know, I love trivia. I love TV trivia and movie trivia. This one's kind of interesting because it's one of the books that I wanted to get to give away during the holidays. Now, we'll be doing giveaways during the entire holiday season throughout December is what we'll be doing that. And especially when we do, did I mention this? I may have forgotten to mention this. What we did last year during the holidays is we played the drinking game, a wine drinking game, a different kind of wine drinking game. Everybody got involved. You don't have to drink. You can get involved. And we had basically a real game online, and we gave away prizes and such. A lot of people won prizes. We did it over the course of 2 weeks during the holidays. I think we did one on the week before New Year's, and then on New Year's Eve. We'll be doing a New Year's Eve show also. That's planned too, by the way. I'm planning to give away some National Day calendars for 2023. That's in the works. But this was a two-week drinking game thing that we did. We're going to be doing that again this year. I've got things set up to go. We'll be doing we've got the wine advent calendar that we're using, and we'll be doing the special drinking game. And you don't have to drink or anything like you don't have to know anything about wine. You don't have to trust me, this is a game that anybody really can play online. So there's no special skills involved. Okay, but I think you'll have a good time. Everybody enjoyed it last year. That it went over really well. People liked it. We're going to do it again this year. So I hope you'll join me for that. All right, so going over the TV trivia stuff, going over this book. This is a very interesting book because what these are word search puzzles. If you're familiar with those, you find the words in there and you circle them. And they have 100 of these things in there. for 100 different, well, actually 98 different shows. A couple of them cover the Emmy Awards for TV and movies, and we're gonna kind of go over that a little bit. We got among them are All in the Family, American Bandstand, American Idol, Baywatch, Beverly Hills 90210, The Big Bang Theory. There's one on The Big Bang Theory in here if you're a fan of that. Blackish, Blue Bloods, Bonanza. These are in alphabetical order, by the way, if you hadn't noticed. The Brady Bunch, Breaking Bad, The Carol Burnett Show. They got one on just cartoons here. I guess various cartoons, because, you know, like Saturday morning cartoons, stuff like that. Warner Brothers, Woody Woodpecker, and all that stuff. Carol Burnett Show, that's a classic. They run on that on MeTV. It's fun to watch. Charlie's Angels, Cheers, where everybody knows your name. Child Stars, that's not even a TV show. It's basically just a list of child stars. Okay, CSI, the original CSI, Crime Scene Investigation, the original one. I was watching an episode of CSI Miami the other night. It's kind of, in some ways, it's kind of dated. Like, you know, I know those shows are pretty gross when they first aired, but watching them again, they're still pretty gross. Some of the close-ups and everything they do, you know, inside people's bodies and stuff, it's just weird. Dallas, Dancing with the Stars, daytime soap operas. Another classic, The Dick Van Dyke Show, one of my favorites. Dick Van Dyke Show, an old favorite. By the way, there's a lot of trivia about the Dick Van Dyke Show. That, by the way, I don't know if anybody knows this, but well, I'm sure people know it. Ed probably knows it. Ed knows a lot of this. Carl Reiner, who was he was basically the showrunner for the show. Carl Reiner also was in the show. But did you know that the show was loosely based on Carl Reiner? Did you know that? The show, the Dick Van Dyke Show, that with Rob Petrie playing the head writer for the Alan Brady show, this was a lot of this was based on Carl Reiner's personal experiences working on shows, and which was pretty interesting. Doctor Who, wow, one of the longest running sci-fi shows, if not the longest running sci-fi show in history. Doctor Who. Downton Abbey, another classic. I never really watched Downton Abbey that much. I've seen a little bit of it. I was really more into stuff like, you know, we're talking about British shows. I was really more into things like Monty Python and Fawlty Towers, stuff that had like John Cleese in it or something. And I'm a big John Cleese fan. Also, well, not fanatic, but I like John Cleese. And my wife likes, she likes Mr. Bean. I like Mr. Bean. Rowan Atkinson is very, very talented. I'll have to say that. Very talented. If you've ever seen his stage stuff, the stuff he's done on stage, some of it's pretty amazing stuff. Dynasty, dynamic duos. Oh, dynamic duos. Okay, so we're not just talking about Batman and Robin. We're talking about buddy shows and Yeah, they got stuff like Mork and Mindy in here, Rizzoli and Isles, Batman and Robin, Sanford and Son. Okay, so those kind of duos. Starsky and Hutch. By the way, that's one of the films that I'm getting transferred. Is a film that we did. It was a spoof on Starsky and Hutch called Starchy and Crutch. I'm looking forward to getting that back to show it to you at one point. I don't want to oversell it. It's pretty silly. It's a one joke film. Dynasty, The Ed Sullivan Show, Emmy winning comedies. Okay, this is where we're gonna stop here. Let's go over some Emmy winning comedies. Emmy winning comedies. I need some more wine for this. All right, you ready for some Emmy winning comedy trivia? Ed says Carl Reiner played the Rob Petrie character in an early pilot. He didn't test sympathetic enough. Well, that's that's understandable because Carl Reiner was he was really more suited for playing the boss. Well, not a very sympathetic character. The boss was rather. I don't want to use this word again this week because I've used it so many times already this week. I'll just leave it at that. Anyway, so let's just say he was, he played that kind of character. Narcissistic. Okay, I'll say it. Narcissistic. I mean, it's not bad. It's a bad word in a way. It's not. Narcissistic. He played kind of a narcissistic guy. Ed Anthony says Alan Brady. Yes, he played Alan Brady, but his character was kind of a narcissistic, self-indulgent, self-absorbed character, which basically was a caricature of what some of those talk show hosts have been like. You know, they're very self-absorbed and somewhat narcissistic, and that's that sort of thing. I'm not going to go any. I didn't want to go in the weeds on that. I've got opinions on that. I don't want to share them here. That's for like an after-show or something. Well, let's go through some of the Emmy-winning comedies. If we haven't lost anybody else here. And Twitch says, yes, Bison Gaming says, I don't watch a lot of shows, but the shows I do watch, I know way too much about. But that's what the TV trivia is all about, right? And I watched way too much TV when I was a kid and when I was a teenager and now. Bison Gaming says, I've got Breaking Bad covered. Okay, so you know a lot of the Breaking Bad trivia then. And I like my chances if Game of Thrones is in there. You know, I don't know if Game of Thrones is in here. I don't think so. I think I've passed. No, maybe not. I don't know. We'll see. What else is in here? Empire. ER. So this is fairly recent. Everybody Loves Raymond. Family Ties. Another classic. The Flintstones. I like the Flintstones. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Friday Night Lights. Which, by the way, I did show. Didn't we show that not too long ago? The Freaky Friday Night Lights, the spoof on that. Friends. Guess what? Bison Gaming, you're in luck. Game of Thrones is one of the word puzzles in here. Game of Thrones is in here. How about that? So your chances are probably pretty good on this one. Game of Thrones is in here. Their game show hosts. Here's one on game show hosts. A lot of classic game show hosts. I wonder if game show hosts. I was going to do. Let's see. Bob Barker, Chuck Berry, Wayne Brady, Drew Carey, Dick Clark. So this is fairly recent because Richard Dawson's in here. But I wonder if. Let me see. Monty Hall's in here. Gary Moore, Regis Philbin, Pat Sajak. Chuck Woolery. Okay, where is I don't see him. Oh no, there he is. Steve Harvey's in there. Okay, so Steve Harvey is in here. Okay, so this is pretty recent. Not that recent that maybe somebody like whoever replaced. No, I guess he's not in here. Okay, so. This is still fairly recent. Still a fairly recent list. Let's see. We got the Golden Girls, The Good Place. Oh wow, The Good Place. You know what? I just finished watching that series, and I'd seen that pop up for a long time, and I just thought, oh man, this looks so cheesy. I don't really want to watch this. And then one night I was just like, I got nothing else to watch. Let me try it out. So I got sucked into the very first episode, and then from there it was like. I watched the entire series, and I thought it had a pretty decent ending to it. Wow, yeah, The Good Place. That was pretty decent. Well written show, actually. Very, very. It was. I want to say it was very funny. There was a lot of humor in there, a lot of stuff in there that you really some of it was really subtle humor, and I like subtle humor. Some of it was obvious humor, but there were some things in here that was somewhat subtle. Grey's Anatomy, Gunsmoke, Happy Days, of course. And we were just talking about Happy Days, weren't we? A little bit. In regards to Richie Cunningham. Homeland, The Honeymooners, I Love Lucy, of course. We were doing some stuff on I Love Lucy a couple of weeks ago. In Living Color, another classic that aired on Fox when I was still working for Fox, by the way. When I was working there, that's when it premiered. I like some of the stuff. And that's what kind of launched Jim Carrey on his career, basically, in Living Color. The Jeffersons, Law and Order, of course. Lawyer and Judge shows. Let's see. What do we have here for Lawyer and Judge shows? Matlock is in here. Night Court. Oh, Night Court was a classic, huh? Yeah, very classic. Perry Mason, of course. Couldn't have a Lawyer and Judge show without Perry Mason. But I wonder if Law and Order Special Victims Unit's in here. The Good Wife. But I wonder if Bull is in here. Because that's, I mean, they did 7 seasons. Bull is not in here. And that was a show that I used to watch quite a bit. Jason Bull, well, maybe it's under Jason. No, it's not there. Not listed there. But that was another show that I liked watching. Little House on the Prairie, Lost, of course. The Love Boat, of course. Madam Secretary, never really watched that show. Mad Men, never really watched that either. Mary Tyler Moore Show, another classic. MASH, and they have some miniseries in here. Interesting. Some interesting. Shaka Zulu. You know, I had the original motion picture soundtrack to Shaka Zulu when I was working at Fox at the time, the local Fox affiliate, and we ran Shaka Zulu, the miniseries, and I was given, as a promotion thing, I was given the soundtrack on CD to Shaka Zulu. And then one night, my house was robbed, and they took almost my entire CD collection. That was a collector's item, by the way. So, Modern Family, Murder, She Wrote, of course. Didn't Angela Lansbury just pass away recently? I think she did. NCIS, the original NCIS, one of the longest running police procedural shows out there. I still watch it. Newhart, classic. This is the Newhart that came after the Bob Newhart show. The other Newhart, what they call the new Newhart. Not really new, but newscasters. I've got a list of newscasters here, and I can pass that up. NYPD Blue, The Office, of course. You can't have anything without The Office. You can't have a TV trivia thing without The Office in there, can you? Orange is the New Black, another popular show, which I've never watched, actually, by the way. Outlander, which I've never really watched. Pets in Shows. They've got one for Pets in Shows. Petey from Our Gang. That's really not a show. Those are really shorts. But they made them into shows later. Snoopy from Peanuts. They've got a list, of course, Lassie, Lucky. Brian from Family Guy's in here. Arnold from Green Acres is in here, of course. Astro from the Jetsons. Dino from the Flintstones. Dreyfus from Empty Nest. Eddie from Frasier's in here. Well, they got and Elvis from Miami Vice. Flipper, of course. Well, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in here. So, primetime soap operas. I'm not going to go into that right now. Reality shows, definitely. I haven't watched more reality shows than I've watched. Roots, that's a classic miniseries. Roots is in here. Saturday Night Live, of course. Scandal. And sci-fi shows. I've got a whole bunch of things on sci-fi shows. One of my favorite topics. Seinfeld and Sesame Street. Sex and the City. The Simpsons, of course. The longest running animated series in history. 60 Minutes. Can pass that one up. The Sopranos. Yeah, there's classic stuff there. Sportscasters. if you're into sports shows. Spy shows. Oh, I wonder what's in the spy shows thing here. Let's see. Secret Agent, Alias, Americans, Charlie's Angels, Archer. Archer's in here. That's animated. The Avengers, of course. The Blacklist. Burn Notice. You know, I kind of got into Burn Notice. No, it's a pretty interesting show. Fringe. Oh, wow. Fringe. If you've never seen Fringe, if you watch Fringe, you have to watch it from the first episode and stay with it all the way to the last. The last episode of Fringe, that was pretty powerful. MacGyver, Mission Impossible. I don't know if we're referring to the new MacGyver or the old MacGyver. Mission Impossible, another classic. Get Smart. No, there's a lot of stuff in here. Star Trek, of course. They've got one on talk shows. They got one on Taxi, This Is Us, TV chefs, TV cops, TV doctors, TV moms, TV show theme songs. Oh, good. I like this. Twilight Zone, Twin Peaks. That square guy over here, he'd be, that's his favorite show, Twin Peaks. That square guy was watching here an hour later. They got one on Twin Peaks. Maybe I should send him one of these books. Variety shows, Veep, The Walking Dead. Westerns, these are all a bunch of westerns. The West Wing. And rounding things up, The X-Files. We got one on The X-Files. So there's a lot going on in here in this book. Here, I'm going to turn to page 27 for just a minute. I haven't had any wine for a while. There's the wine. I said this was going to be a short show, didn't I? All right, so here's a little trivia on Bison Gaming says, I like Good Place too, but I don't know if I remember it too well. I just got finished watching it, so I remember a lot of the stuff with it, but it, it's a pretty interesting, it was effects heavy show too. Kind of like what Upload is. If you haven't seen Upload yet, that's another show that's very interesting and also very effects heavy, and just got renewed for a 4th season, I believe. Where is... Okay, here we are. I'm just checking all the... So, getting back to Emmy-winning comedies, that's only 12.5% alcohol. It's not... All right, so here are some Emmy-winning comedies that they have on the list that won Emmys. Arrested Development. I didn't know it won one, but I guess so. Barney Miller, that's no big surprise too. That's a classic. The Jack Benny Program, and you know what? I have watched a lot of episodes of the Jack Benny Show, and I like that show. It holds up pretty well. It does over all these decades. It holds up pretty well. The Art Carney Special. I didn't know Art Carney did a special, but it won an Emmy. Cheers, which I believe won several Emmys, I think. Sex and the City, yes, of course. The Cosby Show. Make Room for Daddy. That's an old classic. The Dick Van Dyke Show also won Emmy Awards. I think probably more than one. All in the Family, of course. Frasier, yes, I know Frasier was a very, I think it won several Emmys. Friends, The Golden Girls, I Love Lucy, without question. The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, which I have not seen, but I hear it's actually very good, has won an Emmy, at least one. MASH, of course, that goes without saying. MASH has won several Emmys, I think. Ally McBeal. I never watched that show, to be honest. Modern Family. The Monkees. The Monkees won an Emmy Award? Really? It was a fun show. It was really silly. It was a very silly show, but it was still fun to watch. But it won an Emmy? Wow. Murphy Brown, that's not too surprising. Bob Newhart Show, the original Bob Newhart Show, won Emmys. Not surprising there. Excellent writing and just a great cast all around. The Office, of course. The Phil Silver Show. I'm not too surprised there. Everybody Loves Raymond won an Emmy. 30 Rock. Seinfeld, of course. Seinfeld, I know, had won a couple of Emmys. The Red Skelton Show, yes, without question. Red Skelton Show, I used to watch it when I was a kid, and I loved that show. Red Skelton, when I was a kid, Red Skelton was one of my favorite comedians. Get Smart. Get Smart won an Emmy, huh? Oh, that's interesting. Taxi. The Mary Tyler Moore Show, which is not surprising at all. Veep. I haven't really watched the show. My World and... Oh, wow. That's an obscure show. My World and Welcome to It. Oh, wow. Well, we could talk about that show a little bit because I don't recall anybody else who even remembers that show. But when I was young, I watched that show. I liked it. My World and Welcome to It. I liked that show. Will and Grace and The Wonder Years. I'm not too surprised about The Wonder Years, but wow, My World and Welcome to It won an Emmy? All right. Well, they have some Emmy-winning dramas on here. I could go on and on. We'll do the Emmy-winning dramas next week. Why not? Give us something to do next week, right? It's getting late. It's getting later every second. But fortunately for us, it's daylight savings time ending tonight. Okay? It's 11:59. It's almost 12 o'clock. That means it's almost done. We're 2 hours away from daylight savings time ending. I'm telling you, I enjoy it. I like it. I like this idea. That's right. The end of daylight savings time. I will drink to that again. Who's with me on this one? Ed says, original Bob Newhart variety show won an Emmy and was canceled in the same week. Now, I know that they canceled it rather abruptly, but I did not know that the original Bob Newhart variety show, because Bob Newhart did do a variety show, but I think it was called, wasn't it called Bob or something? I can't remember. But yeah, he did a short-lived variety show. It won an Emmy and was canceled the same week. There's irony for you. What a great show. We're going to pull it off the air. That's how a lot of these shows actually wind up. You know, they're critically acclaimed. They win these awards and then they get canceled unceremoniously so oftentimes. Just because, because the network executives are not thinking in terms of how many awards it can win. They're thinking in terms of ratings. That's what gets it. It's ratings. If the ratings aren't up there where they want them to be, then that show gets the axe. But that's not always true, because there have been certain times when a certain network executive of a network, or a couple of them, or a few of them, will get together and decide they just don't personally like the show. Even if it's doing well, and even if it's okay, they might not personally like the show, or they may have a problem with the showrunner or with somebody on the show, and will, in a vindictive manner, say, let's cut the show. It has happened. It happened with, now in terms of what happened in the early 70s, where 3 shows got the axe, and there were the rural comedies. I think we talked about them before. That the network in question decided that rural comedies were no longer cutting it, and they wanted something more edgy and more modern. Even though all 3 of those comedy shows were at the top of their game, they were at the top of the ratings, and everybody loved the shows and they wanted to keep them. They were completely successful shows. You know the shows I'm talking about, right? Anybody know the shows I'm talking about? There were several of them. There was more. It was called the Great Rural Purge, is what it was called, where this network decided to purge all of the rural, they say rural, like the comedy shows for the those that were not the urban crowd, they were calling the rural crowd. They wanted to make the shows more urban, so they decided to cut these shows. You know the 3 shows I'm talking about? Anybody who knows it? Ed, you just won a book. You can answer anyway. I'm going to tell you. I'll tell you who it was. Okay. There were 3 shows in particular that were the top of their game. Those shows were Petticoat Junction, Green Acres, and the Beverly Hillbillies. Got the axe right then. Because the powers that be at the network decided that people want to watch more urban, edgy shows, so we're going to cut this, which didn't make any sense because they were all ratings hits. Everybody was watching these shows and they loved them, so it didn't make any sense at all. There have been other really, really bad decisions made, like just about every decision made by the Sci-Fi Network, what used to be called the Sci-Fi Channel. Now it's SYFY or whatever it is they call themselves now. So many shows they canceled unceremoniously because of really bad decisions by people who were in positions to make those decisions that just, I don't know. I'm going off on another rant. I'm not going to do that now. Don't have time for that. We don't have all night for these Rick rants, right? Anyway, we've talked about that before. Ed says the Bob Newhart show, a summer replacement. It was great, and I believe it. I liked the Bob Newhart series, the original Bob Newhart series, where he played Bob Hartley and Suzanne Pleshette played his wife Emily, and it was just a great cast of characters in that show. Classic Bob Newhart. Anyway, so I guess that does it for tonight. We're going on with the trivia. When I get on trivia, I just go on and on and on. But I think it's time to close it up for tonight. I think it's past time. Yes, it is, definitely. All right, so this is, because I don't want to wear out my welcome with you. I really don't. I value your time with me, and I don't want to bore you and wear it out to where you say, I can't watch any more of this guy. Besides, I got to finish that donut over here. Anyway, so let's get to the final review of this wine. This is what we were drinking tonight. We were drinking Hermes. Okay, it's not a social disease. It's a wine. Hermes. Dry red wine. I think, I'm not 100% sure, because the label doesn't say much of anything. We look at the label front and back. We'll do it again. See that? It just says dry, fresh red wine. That's what it says. What was in it, I'm not 100% sure. Because I couldn't find a whole lot of information on what was in this wine. Now, allegedly, I think they're Azurgitico grapes. Those are the grapes, Azurgitico, I think. Because that's what a lot of, a number of Greek wines are made with that grape. And so I'm making an assumption here, but it doesn't really say. I don't know the year. The year is not printed anywhere on the front and the back of this bottle. It could be a 2018. It could be a 2020. I don't know. It's running for about $10 on average, and I paid $10.99 for mine at the Total Wine and More. It is very light on everything. I was getting some. Well, here's the thing. It's opened up a little bit more. Let me get another taste of this. Get another taste of this wine here for just a minute. Oh, It's opened up. It's about the same. Now, I did chill this wine, by the way, and recommended that you chill it. I did chill it before the show. Brought it up here just before the start of the show. And it's opened up. I taste the pomegranate a little bit more now. Just a little bit. Cranberry, though. It's a little bit on the tart side. Cranberry. A little hint of strawberry, too. I wasn't getting any other spices or anything in this wine. But it's very light. 12.5% alcohol by volume. It's a light tasting wine. Light on the tannin. Light on the acidity. Light on just about... light on the finish. It does have a little bit of a lingering finish now that I think of it, but right after going down, it's kind of it lingers a little bit more now than it did at the beginning, I think. But it's medium bodied, and it's a very light wine. It's kind of a smooth wine to drink. I like it. It's not a bad wine at all. In fact, I like it better than the wine, and I'll bring it up here before, the one that we had before that was Greek. The first time that I'd really tried a Greek wine, to my recollection, the Katrotsis wine, this one we tried a couple of months ago, and it was considerably heavier, and it wasn't my favorite wine. I didn't dislike it. I just didn't really overly like it too much. This one I like a lot better. I think this is a nicer wine. For $10.99, I think it's pretty decent. I don't remember what I paid for the Katrotsis, but this one is not bad at all. It's a pretty decent wine. I wouldn't say it's fantastic, but it's not bad. Bison Gaming says, good night, Rick, and good night to you. I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you stopped by, and I'm glad you hung around. Please don't be a stranger. Please come by and visit us often. And hang out in the next few weeks and see if you can win a prize here, because I'm going to be giving away some prizes. Ed says, shows with his name in the title included Newhart, Bob, and even George. I think it's his actual first name. That's his actual first name is George? Now, that's something I didn't know. But Ed is a virtual cornucopia of TV trivia. He beats me on this all the time. He does. You do, Ed. And I value your trivia expertise. I do. I'm not just saying that. I really do. All right, Kane, thanks for being here in the chat. I want to thank everybody for being here with me tonight. I do recommend this wine, by the way. All right, there's one more person. I'm still on that. I'm still on that. Sorry about that, folks. Still on that shot of the wine. I guess I liked it more than I thought. Here's the wine. I'm toasting the wine now. It must be good. All right. I want to thank everybody for being here with me tonight. I want to bring out one more person. One more. Whoever he is, whatever he is. Let's bring him out right now. This is none other than Roadkill Bill. Yeah, here. You get to say more than that. Here. Your squeaker's going out a little bit, Bill. Roadkill Bill, everybody. Here's to Roadkill Bill. Bill has a very important message for everyone. And it's for everyone in this chat now and later. By the way, I want to thank everyone who joined me in the chat tonight. I want to thank my good friend Ed and my lovely wife Chi for being here in the chat. And also Kane, thank you for being here tonight. And all those nice spammers that were spamming the chat tonight. I don't thank you at all. But everyone else I thank. I want to thank Bison Gaming for being here, and Tom Antio, and everybody who is watching but was not in the chat. Thank you for being here. Really appreciate each and every one of you. Everyone watching on Odyssey as well, and on Twitter. Thank you for being here, and thank you for not tweeting things that were not appropriate to tweet. Thank you for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you. And so does Bill, because this is Bill's message for you. His message as the official mascot of Drink with Rick on the Saturday Night Winestream. His message to you is, please do not drink and drive. Drink in the comfort of your home, your office, your apartment, your hotel room, your dwelling, wherever you are. Do not drink and drive. Right, Bill? That's right. If you have to go somewhere, call an Uber, call a Lyft, call a cab, call a friend, call a bus, or get on a bus. I don't think you can call them. Some places you can now, I think. Whatever you do, get somebody else to drive you somewhere, or just stay put. And it's probably better to just stay put. Better for you and everyone else around you. Right, Bill? Right. Don't text and drive either, because it's also very dangerous. Because I want you to have a great week. But most of all, I want you to have a safe week. So you can all join me here again next week, along with Roadkill Bill. And we can all get together and drink with Rick. Good night.